Hi fellow YouTubers and D&D adventurers, this is me back again with the next part of my Heroquest adventure series using Dwarven Forge pieces and Games Workshop pre-painted figures. So the next quest is Melar's Maze. This is what it looks like in the actual board game. I have set it up slightly differently than this, not a great deal of difference. I'll show you that when I get to it. In this quest there's different figures, different monsters to attack, but I've changed a few. As you see in this centre room, you've got some zombies and you've also got a mummy there. What I've done is I've changed those for different figures, and I'll show you that when I get to them. So the whole point of this quest is to find your way around Melar's Maze and try and find the Talisman of Law, which is a secret weapon which you will need in future adventures. So this is what my dungeon looks like. It's all made up. Not quite as long with the map. This part here on the map was a lot longer, it came out a lot further, but because I've only got limited pieces I've had to squeeze it in a bit more. But it's still quite a challenging adventure, this one. And there's several different ways. They can either come the long way, which is down this way and round and into that room, or the short way, which is just straight up, down and in. But really, to get the full benefit of the game, you need to explore everything. You go into every room. So, start at the beginning. This is the start room. See the stairways? Stairway there. On top of that is the wizard. Then you've got the elf, the barbarian and the dwarf who's checking out the pots. So they go through the door. You can either go this way or straight down. So first of all we'll have a look at going straight down. So as they go down this corridor, they're confronted by a little warring band of goblins, and there's some sacks of grain there as well. They come through this doorway. In here there's some barrels, there's a chaos warrior, and there's, in the centre of the room, there's a throne. And what they can do, if they search for secret doors, the throne slides to the side and the secret door opens. So they go through into the secret room. In here we have 3 orcs. We have a treasure chest up in the top corner. We have a bookcase and an alchemy bench. They then have a choice of either going straight up or down. So what I'll do is I'll go straight up first. In this room we have a fireplace, and it's guarded by a chaos warrior. And then what they can do is they can go up through that doorway and straight along, but they don't. They decide to come back into this room and through this doorway. Now you've got another choice here, you can go left or right. So they decide to go left, and there's a crate of food there in the corridor. But instead of going straight up the corridor, they decide to go through this doorway. In here it gets a little bit more interesting. We've got a tomb and a gargoyle. Now for this I've used a chaos demon, a demon prince I think he's called, from the Warhammer 40,000 series. I'll show him in a bit more detail at the end of the video. And they come through this doorway. In here there's some shelving. There's a chaos warrior in front of the shelf, and next to the campfire there's 3 skeletons, and in the corner there's a treasure chest. So that's all they can do in that one. So instead they go up this way, and they decide to turn right and go down here. In this little corridor there's another chaos warrior. There's some sacks of grain and a crate of food. Now also here there's a ghoul, and this is what I've used to replace the mummies. If they search for the secret doors. The secret door opens here. I'll show you that in a second. Going back out into this corridor, if they decided to come down this long corridor, there's some sacks of grain there, and right down the end of the corridor there's some goblin archers. Move along this corridor here, they've got some sacks of grain, and at the end there's another ghoul and an orc archer. So they decide to go into this room after they've taken them out. There's some barrels of beer, there's a torture rack, and there's a chaos warrior in this room. So after that, and as you can see in the centre there, there's a trap door. So if they don't search for traps, they fall straight down that. So that's something a little bit different added. They come back out into this corridor where they fought this goblin archer, and they come into this room. In here we have another chaos warrior and a bookcase, and in the corner of the room there's some crates. And then they come up into this corridor. If they'd gone through that secret door that they opened earlier, they would have come out this way. And you've got a skeleton warrior there. Moving along corridor, you've got a crate of food, and at the end there's a goblin archer. Moving up this corridor here, you've got some sacks of food again, and you have a vampire. Now this is this should have been mummies, and instead of using a mummy figure I've used vampires. I made a mistake. What I said was with these guys I've exchanged them for the zombies, not the mummies. So instead of zombies you've got the ghouls, and instead of mummies you've got the vampires. Moving on up this corridor, guarding this doorway here, there's two lizard men and the sacks of grain. And if I go back to the beginning here, instead of coming down this way, if they'd gone up along this long corridor, there's some crates of food, they would have come up against another vampire, and there's a goblin archer in the corner. Come back down, grains of sacks of grain, and this is the room again where the two lizard men are. And they then come into this main room through the portcullis doorway, which does open. This is the main room. In here we have a ghoul, a skeleton there, another skeleton. There's a big table in the middle of the room. There's another ghoul here. We have a treasure chest. We have another little table with some food on. There's some barrels of food there. Also we have a chaos champion, and if I spin this round, here we have a vampire queen and two bookcases. So you see this quest, a little bit more to it than the previous three. Not as many of the green skins, which are the goblins and the orcs, in this one. This is mainly focusing more on the undead type creatures, with some powerful chaos warriors thrown in. So I'll now show you some of the newer figures, starting with chaos warriors. These again, different clan to the chaos warriors I used previously. These have got the purple and black armour. Also skeleton warriors. These are just basic skeleton warriors. These are the easier ones to kill. In future adventures you will get more elite skeleton warriors, and they will be completely different. Here is one of the ghouls. So this is used instead of the mummy. There you go. Nice little figure. Vampires. Here's the vampire queen. so obviously she's going to be quite hard to kill. And I'll show you the other two vampire warriors. Here's one. And here's the second one. Very nice paint job on these. I didn't paint these myself, I actually bought them off eBay. Got people to do them for me. And here is the Demon Prince in all his glory. I will use different gargoyles for this quest, but I haven't bought them yet. This is one of the main characters in one of the later quests really, but I thought I'd just use him for this one, just to show you another type of character that I've got. Superb paint job on this guy. Very pleased with him. I've got 3 other Demon Princes that I've bought, but I haven't made them up yet, and so obviously they're not painted. As soon as they're done, they will be used in future adventures. It's probably the best figure on this set in this quest. So there you go. There's Melar's Maze in all its glory. Sorry for the shoddy camera work. The next quest, which I will do, will be this one, Legacy of the Orc Warlord. Not as many rooms in this one, more passages. So this is more of an orc and goblin type adventure with a few special characters added. So that'll be the next one that I do. What I'm going to do now is to show you a few figures that I've got. I'm going to start doing this on future videos, just some of those little characters that I've got that I use in my games. Here we have Goblin Spider Rider. I've got several of those. To show you another one, here we have a dire wolf. And also something a little bit different, some blood letters of corn. So these are other figures that I will use in future adventures. And one last one on this video. This is another Chaos Champion. Oh, that's something that I haven't showed you. There is a Chaos Champion in this adventure. Forgot to show you him. There he is. One of the old Games Workshop figures from back in the early 90s. Late 80s, early 90s. Great paint job on him. So that's just a little sneak look at some of the extra characters that I use in other adventures. So until my next video, hope you enjoyed watching this one. Thanks for watching.